other business to watch for as we move forward. They'll probably try to extend Myles Garrett pretty soon if they haven't done so yet. We know that they picked up his fifth-year option. We know they did the same for David Njoku. I don't think they'll necessarily rush to try to extend David right away. I think they want to maybe let him get into the season a little bit, see how it goes, and revisit that. But I think Myles, they will probably try to get that thing going as soon as possible, and it behooves them to do that. And then you've got Larry Ogunjobi going into the final year of his contract. So he's somebody that you want to take a look at and see about extending. And I think that he's somebody that they will try to do that too before the season starts.
They put out a list today of the top 100 players in the game, which is really hard to do because you need to have the quarterbacks in there no matter where they belong. If you don't have your quarterback, you don't have your important guy. But Myles Garrett was 57th or 59th. Is that part of what happened to the image he now has based on what happened against Pittsburgh last year? Or do you think that's what they really believe?
Well, that seems kind of low to me. I mean, when you pick someone number one overall, and last year he was on pace for NFL Defensive Player of the Year, that seems a little bit low. I would think that he would be somewhat higher than that. So that surprises me. But I do also believe that Myles Garrett does need to take his game up to another level. And I hope for the Browns' sake that he does that this year. And what I mean by that is, I think he just needs to take over a couple of games. He's not going to do that every single week, but he needs to punch the ball out more. He needs, to strip it. He needs to recover some fumbles. He needs to be involved in more game-changing plays and be a little bit more dominant on at least several occasions this season.
Mary-Kay, even if he does it and has games like that, and I've heard people talking about 20 sacks coming up in the season. I don't know how reliable that's going to be. But unless he has that kind of a year, is he stuck with that label the rest of his career, or does he have to play himself out of it?
Well, I think he's certainly capable of it. He had 10 sacks in 10 games last year. He was on pace to break the Browns' single-season record and end up with about 16 sacks. So I don't think he has to worry about shedding any labels or anything like that. But if you do want to achieve those lofty goals that he has, including NFL Defensive Player of the Year and being considered the greatest of all time, you have to be a monster on, again, not every single game, but there's got to be 5-6 times a year that you look out there and just say, we can't do anything to stop this guy. And he is just, out of this world, generational pass rusher. That's what you need to see from your number one overall pick.
All right, finally, what for the incident with Pittsburgh last year, does that stay with him, or does he play his way out of it?
No, he can never play his way out of it. It will always be part of his narrative. There is no way that you will ever be able to leave that in the rearview mirror with Myles Garrett, but he can overcome it in many different ways. He can not have it define him, but it will always, always be part of his story.